What happens when a world-renowned 48-year-old heart surgeon takes the life of a 9-year-old girl during a routine surgery while intoxicated, then spends 6 months covering it up, falsifying medical records and blaming the anesthesiologist? Dr. Marcus Sullivan, a celebrated cardiovascular surgeon with a flawless reputation, walked into Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom expecting to quietly settle the case with a team of hospital administrators and high-powered lawyers. What he didn't know was that sitting in the gallery was Maria Rodriguez, clutching her daughter Emma's favorite stuffed rabbit, alongside Dr. Patricia Chan, the anesthesiologist whose career he had destroyed with lies. Behind them sat 12 families whose children had unknowingly been operated on by this same intoxicated surgeon. It was January 22, 2024, in Providence Municipal Court. Judge Frank Caprio reviewed the file that had haunted him for weeks. Dr. Sullivan, a Harvard graduate with over 15 years of experience and more than 2,000 successful heart surgeries, had performed Emma Rodriguez's critical valve repair on July 18, 2023, legally drunk. The surgery, which should have been routine, ended in catastrophe. At 2:47 p.m., just 32 minutes in, Dr. Sullivan punctured her pulmonary artery. Blood poured in, hands trembled, and his judgment faltered. Dr. Chun noticed immediately the smell of alcohol, the shaking hands, the erratic decisions. She asked if they should call for backup, but he snapped, insisting she focus on your job. By 3:18 p.m., despite desperate resuscitation, Emma's heart stopped. By 4:03 p.m., she was pronounced dead. The hospital initially blamed Dr. Chun. Administrators, valuing Sullivan's $4 million annual revenue, backed him. Dr. Chun was suspended, her career left in ruins. But she knew the truth. For 6 months, she fought alone. Her reputation destroyed, her savings drained, while Sullivan continued performing surgeries. That courtroom that day would change everything. Judge Caprio's 19-minute verdict didn't just destroy a career. It stripped Sullivan of his medical license, sentenced him to 15 years in prison, bankrupted the hospital that protected him, forced the entire medical board to resign, and sparked nationwide reform in medical accountability. The video of that courtroom went viral, watched by over 120 million people, ensuring that Emma Rodriguez's tragic death would save countless lives. Security officer James Martinez finally came forward, haunted by what he knew. On July 18, 2023, at 1:55 p.m., just 20 minutes before Emma Rodriguez's surgery, hospital cameras captured Dr. Marcus Sullivan entering his office. 2 minutes later, the footage shows him clearly drinking directly from a vodka bottle. 3 long swigs. By 2:03 p.m., he leaves the office and heads to the surgical wing. James handed the footage to the police, and the investigation exploded. Blood samples taken during the emergency surgery revealed a blood alcohol concentration of 0.15 at 3:30 p.m., nearly twice the legal driving limit. At the start of surgery at 2:15 p.m., his BAC was likely 0.18 or higher. Hospital records later revealed a shocking pattern. Dr. Sullivan had been drinking on the job for 18 months. Staff, granted immunity, reported smelling alcohol on him, witnessing unsteady behavior, and noting repeated lapses in judgment. Yet the administration buried every complaint because Dr. Sullivan generated over $4 million annually. Now, Dr. Sullivan stood in Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom, calm, almost bored, wearing an expensive suit and a Rolex. Behind him sat 5 hospital attorneys and 3 personal lawyers, all in custom suits, all strategizing to minimize, deflect, and quietly settle. But truth sat in the gallery. Maria Rodriguez, 42, yet looking decades older from grief, clutched Emma's pink stuffed rabbit. Beside her, Carlos Rodriguez's face was a mask of restrained rage and anguish. Dr. Patricia Chen, the anesthesiologist whose career had been destroyed by Sullivan's lies, sat quietly, conscience intact. Filling 2 more rows were 12 families whose children had been operated on by Dr. Sullivan in the 6 months prior, children who had survived only by luck. The bailiff called the court to order. Judge Caprio's gaze fixed on Dr. Sullivan. Dr. Sullivan, you are charged with involuntary manslaughter, practicing medicine while intoxicated, falsifying medical records, and criminal negligence resulting in death. How do you plead? Hospital lawyer Richard Morrison stood immediately. Your Honor, my client pleads not guilty. The circumstances have been grossly mischaracterized. Dr. Sullivan is a dedicated physician with 15 years of exemplary service. What occurred was an unfortunate surgical complication, not criminal behavior. Judge Caprio's eyes narrowed. Counselor, your client operated on a 9-year-old child with a blood alcohol content of 0.15. How is that being mischaracterized? Morrison did not falter. Your Honor, the blood alcohol testing was conducted improperly. There is no definitive proof that my client's alleged condition caused the patient's death. Cardiac surgery carries inherent risks. Murmurs erupted in the courtroom. Maria Rodriguez sobbed. Judge Caprio slammed his gavel. Counselor, a child is dead. Show some respect. He turned to the prosecutor. Assistant DA Jennifer Williams, a veteran prosecutor with a 9-year-old daughter herself, rose. Your Honor, we have overwhelming evidence. First, security footage from July 18, 2023, at 1:57 p.m. shows Dr. Sullivan in surgical scrubs, entering his office, removing a Grey Goose vodka bottle and drinking directly from it 3 long swigs. His face shows relief like an addict getting a fix. He caps the bottle, returns it, and exits. The footage is crystal clear. Undeniable. Morrison immediately objected. Your Honor, that footage proves nothing about his condition during surgery. Many professionals have a drink before stressful situations. Judge Caprio's voice turned cold as ice. Counselor, did you just argue that drinking vodka before performing heart surgery on a child is acceptable? Judge Caprio's voice cut through the tension. Morrison realized his mistake. He sat down immediately. Assistant DA Jennifer Williams continued, her voice firm but filled with controlled emotion. We have toxicology reports. Dr. Sullivan's BAC at 3:30 p.m. was 0.15. Experts testified that at 2:15 p.m. when surgery began, his BAC was approximately 0.18, more than twice the legal limit. We also have testimony from Dr. Patricia Chun, the anesthesiologist. Dr. Chun, please approach. Dr. Chun, in her late 30s, professional and composed, walked to the witness area. Her eyes betrayed 6 months of trauma. Jennifer asked, Dr. Chun, please tell the court what you observed on July 18th. Dr. Chen's voice was steady, each word deliberate. Within minutes of surgery starting, I smelled alcohol on Dr. Sullivan's breath. His hands were visibly shaking. His decision-making was erratic. When he punctured the pulmonary artery, a complication that, for a surgeon of his experience, should have been immediately manageable, he panicked. His attempts to repair it were uncoordinated. I asked if he was all right, if we should call for backup. He refused. I watched him make mistake after mistake. I knew he was impaired, but I was powerless to stop him. When Emma died, I reported everything to hospital administration. They buried it. Then Dr. Sullivan falsified his operative report, blaming me for her death. Maria Rodriguez's sobs filled the courtroom. Dr. Chun looked at her with tears in her own eyes. Mrs. Rodriguez, I am so sorry. I tried to save Emma. I tried to stop him. I've lived with the guilt every single day that I didn't do more, that I didn't physically remove him from that operating room. Your daughter deserved better. She deserved a sober surgeon who could have saved her life. Judge Caprio spoke gently but firmly. Dr. Chun, you did everything you could within the system. The failure was not yours. The failure was his. He gestured toward Dr. Sullivan and the hospital administrators who had protected him. Turning to Dr. Sullivan, he asked, Doctor, do you have anything to say? Dr. Sullivan stood. His demeanor was shocking, cold, detached, almost clinical. Your Honor, I've performed over 2,000 heart surgeries. I've saved countless lives. This was a tragic outcome. Cardiac surgery carries risks. Even the best surgeons lose patients. The blood alcohol results are circumstantial. I maintain that the surgery failed due to the patient's compromised condition and anesthesia management issues, not my performance. The courtroom held its breath. Judge Caprio's expression hardened. He rose from the bench, walking down to stand directly in front of Dr. Sullivan. His voice, calm yet devastating, filled the room. Dr. Marcus Sullivan, Dr. Emma Rodriguez, was 9 years old. She loved butterflies. She wanted to be an artist. She trusted you. Her parents researched for months and chose you specifically because of your reputation. They put their daughter's life in your hands, and you operated on her while drunk. You drank vodka 20 minutes before cutting into a child's heart. You made catastrophic mistakes because your judgment was impaired. And when she died, because of your negligence, you blamed Dr. Chun. No excuses. No deflection. This courtroom is about accountability. What you did was not surgery, it was a crime. Dr. Chun, you falsified records. You destroyed her career to protect yourself. You let her suffer for 6 months while you continued operating drunk on other children. Judge Caprio turned to the gallery. How many of you had children operated on by Dr. Sullivan between July and December 2023? Slowly, 12 hands rose. Parents looked at one another in horror, realizing how close they came to losing their own children. 12 children. 12 families who trusted this man. Any one of them could have been Emma. Turning back to Dr. Sullivan, Judge Caprio's voice was firm, unwavering. Here is your sentence. Involuntary manslaughter, 15 years in state prison, maximum sentence, no possibility of parole. Practicing medicine while intoxicated, 5 additional years, consecutive. Falsifying medical records, 2 years, consecutive. Total 22 years. Gasps echoed through the courtroom. Dr. Sullivan's face went white. Furthermore, Judge Caprio continued, I am permanently revoking your medical license. You will never practice medicine again. I am ordering the Rhode Island Medical Board to investigate every surgery you performed in the last 18 months. Every family deserves to know if their loved one was operated on by a drunk surgeon. One hospital lawyer jumped up. Your Honor, this is excessive. Dr. Sullivan has no prior criminal record. 22 years will destroy his life. Judge Caprio's response was devastating. Emma Rodriguez doesn't have a life anymore, counselor. She's buried at St. Mary's Cemetery. She was 9 years old. Your client destroyed her life. He destroyed her parents' lives. He destroyed Dr. Chen's career. He endangered 12 other children. And you're worried about destroying his life? He continued, his gaze sweeping the room. I am also ordering a complete investigation into Providence Memorial Hospital's administration. The evidence shows they received multiple complaints about Dr. Sullivan's drinking and buried them because he generated revenue. This case is being referred to federal health authorities. If that hospital allowed a drunk surgeon to operate for 18 months, their accreditation should be revoked. He looked at Maria Rodriguez. Mrs. Rodriguez, I cannot bring Emma back, cannot ease your pain, but I can ensure the man responsible faces the fullest consequences. I can ensure he never endangers another child. And I can push a system that failed your daughter to change so no other parent suffers what you suffered. Maria nodded, tears streaming down her face. Thank you, Your Honor. Emma deserved better. She deserved to live. The gavel fell. Dr. Sullivan was led away in handcuffs, his arrogance finally cracking as the reality of 22 years in prison set in. The hospital lawyers sat stunned. They had expected a settlement, maybe a fine, not the complete destruction of their client and a potential federal investigation into their institution. 3 weeks later, Providence Memorial Hospital lost its cardiac surgery accreditation. Federal investigators uncovered systematic cover-ups of physician impairment. The CEO and 3 administrators resigned. The hospital paid $15 million to the Rodriguez family and established the Emma Rodriguez Foundation for Surgical Safety. Dr. Patricia Chen's medical license was fully restored, accompanied by formal apologies. She is now chief of anesthesiology at Boston Children's Hospital and leads national efforts implementing mandatory alcohol testing protocols for surgeons. Dr. Marcus Sullivan serves his sentence in maximum security. In year 3, he wrote a letter to Maria Rodriguez. She never opened it. Some apologies come too late. Judge Frank Caprio's sentencing became required viewing in medical schools across America. The case sparked federal laws requiring random alcohol testing for surgeons and mandatory reporting of impaired physicians. Emma's death, though tragic, ultimately saved countless lives through the reforms it inspired. Court adjourned.